everybody, it's the Cemetery Witch here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about hand blended incense. I thought I'd run through today just a quick video on how you can create your own at home. It's really simple. You don't need much in the way of equipment. A pestle and mortar is pretty necessary if you want to blend all your ingredients together and you want to perhaps turn frankincense and myrrh into smaller chunks within your incense. But other than that, a little pot for putting it in is always handy. I like a spoon, my husband maybe this one, to transfer your mixture into your little pot. And if you want to make batches of incense, then I really recommend getting a little set of scales. Don't cost very much. This was about £10. Really light, really easy to store and very easy to use. When you've made your hand blended incense, you'll be burning it on a charcoal disc. If you've not seen one before, they look like this. They're highly flammable, self-igniting, so it's really important you place it in a bowl, a fireproof dish, before you light it. Don't light it while it's in your hands because you will get burnt. So I like to use this. This is a dish from Star Child. This is where I get most of my supplies from. And I actually place it in there, then light it with a match or a lighter. It should fizz and crackle for a little while. It might give off some smoke. And eventually, when your little charcoal disc is glowing, sometimes you have to have a look to actually see if it's lit, but you'll know when it is. Then you can sprinkle on your incense and off you go. And a little goes a long way usually with this incense. So very few supplies that you actually need. You can measure out your herbs and gums and resins into lots of little bowls if that's easier for you, and then blend them all together. Or you can do what I do, which is start off with your gums and resins and then just add your herbs into your bowl. I like to crush my frankincense and myrrh down a little bit, and then I like to add in my herbs and then grind everything up together. So you can choose whatever you want to put in your incense. Obviously you'll need to spend some time researching the different herbs, especially if you don't know much about them, and pick them for their magical properties. Obviously herbs have their medicinal properties if we ingest those or we use them in oils on the skin, but they also have magical properties, which is what we're aiming for when we're making hand blended incense. So for example, frankincense, I've got an empty jar here, but I'll just show you a few pieces of frankincense. Oh, this is just a resin or a gum, not sure which category that one falls into actually, but it's spiritually uplifting and purifying, really lovely. And then you've got things like acacia gum, which is also known as gum arabic, which is a really good fixative for more volatile substances, so things like essential oils that you want to add. So it can be as complex or as simple as you like. And then obviously when you add in your plants, your dried herbs, the more of those that you have, the smokier your mixture is going to be. But smoke's not a bad thing. If you think about burning sage and incense, there is an element of smoke. And this is very good if you are wanting to have visions, or perhaps you're doing some sort of work with entities, or you're doing some scrying. So smoky doesn't necessarily mean bad. It's just, you have an aim or a goal for the hand blended incense that you are going to make. So you need to obviously do your research. Maybe you're an expert already. So for example, for herbs, you could use rosemary, which is very good for the memory. It's uplifting, especially if you're grieving, and it is protective and wards off evil. Lavender, great healing herb, great for healing rituals. Also a protective herb, said to ward off sort of evil spirits and demons and devils, and it can calm an overactive mind. You might just want to make incense just for the sheer enjoyment of the smell, the aroma. It's entirely up to you. You might want to make it to use before spell work or rituals or trance work, or even during. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to show you quickly how I make mine. So as I said, I like to blend up my gums and my resins and just crush them down into slightly smaller pieces. I then measure out my herbs because I've got some recipes that I've made already. So for example, I'm going to take 2 grams of rosemary. I'm just doing off the screen, and then add that into my pestle and mortar and just grind that in as well. So as I said before, you might want to measure this all up into little dishes first, and then put them all in together and crush them, blend them. So it's entirely up to you. So it's really, really simple. There's not a lot to this. I'd say the biggest part really of making some hand blended incense is working out what you're going to put it and what properties those herbs and gums have. And then probably, you know, if you're wanting to make it to go in a little pot like this, just working out the amounts. So it's a little bit of trial and error, but it won't take you long at all to do that. So really, really simple. And yeah, I hope you enjoy that and you have fun.